when you read the Bible and you read about when Moses went up into the mountain to go get the 10 Commandments from the Most High, he came back down from the mountain, and what did he see? What did he discover? He saw the Israelites in their wickedness, fulfilling their wickedness, doing what? Turning up, drinking, doing drugs, worshiping idols, having orgies, being homosexual. Yeah, brother, what's good?
I want to, you said 10 Commandments, right? I need to see some artifacts.
What you mean artifacts?
Artifact. Archaeologists are getting all these black bones, but I don't see no 10 Commandments come up and nothing.
What you got to understand is that the 10 Commandments, you talking about the actual...
Yeah, it's actually in stone, right?
Right. Well, give me the Apocrypha. Now, what you got to understand is that the 10 Commandments, you know anything about the Bible?
Yeah, I know a little bit.
You know a little bit? So you ever heard of the Ark of the Covenant?
Yes.
So now, then you know that the Ark of the Covenant contained the 10 Commandments. Right?
Yeah. But
now, within the Ark of the Covenant, you had what? There was 3 things that were placed within the Ark of the Covenant. There was the Aaron's rod. You know about Aaron's rod? Aaron's rod, you know who Aaron was? Aaron was the brother of Moses. He was the priest, the high priest. Now, Aaron's rod is referred to Aaron's rod that budded. You know, hold on one second. You know the scripture where it talks about Jeremiah hiding the ark? You know that scripture? It's in the Apocrypha. So now, Aaron's rod, it said that Aaron's rod budded. So now, when that was placed in the ark, and then you had what they call the manna, which you know about the manna? The manna was the food that the Israelites ate when they was in the wilderness for 40 years. So they referred to the manna as food from heaven. Because when they woke up in the morning, it said the manna covered the grass like dew. So they would go out and pick the manna, and they would make bread out of it. And it was given to them every morning for 6 days. Now, because according to the law, you had 7 days shall work be done, and the 6th day shall work be done, and the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest. So now, for 6 days, the Most High will give them manna, and on the 6th day, He will give them a double portion of manna to carry over for the 7th day. So now, they took a jar of manna and also placed that in the ark. All right, and then they had the stones, the 10 Commandments, and placed those in the ark. All right, but now bear with me 1 second.
Second Maccabees. Second Maccabees. Second Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1.
2. Start at verse 4. This is Second Maccabees 2, verse 4. Read.
It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of God,
right, the prophet, this is the prophet Jeremiah. He was given a warning by the Heavenly Father. Okay, go ahead.
By being warned of God, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him.
Right, so he took the tabernacle and the ark of the covenant, which was I don't have a picture of it here, but you Google it real quick. The ark was it used to go out with us into battle, and we had it in what they call the Holy of Holies in the covenant. I mean, in the temple. All right, and it was made out of gold. And within the ark, like I said, you had Aaron's rod that budded, you had the manna, and you had the 10 Commandments, the stones. Go ahead, read on.
As he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of God. And when Jeremy,
which is Jeremiah, go ahead,
came thither, he found an hollow cave wherein he laid the tabernacle.
Right, so he found the cave, and he put the tabernacle and the ark of the covenant within the cave. Go ahead.
And the ark, and the altar of incense,
and the altar of incense, read.
And so stopped the door.
And so stopped the door. Closed up the door. Closed up the cave, read.
And some of those that followed him came to mark the way.
They try to mark the way. Those that were with Jeremiah and some of his disciples, they try to mark the way so that way later on they could go and retrieve these things. Go ahead.
But they could not find it.
But they couldn't find it. They couldn't mark the way. The Most High hid it. Go ahead.
Which, when Jeremy proceeded, he blamed them.
Right,
saying,
he got mad at them. When he found out that they was trying to mark the way, trying to lay breadcrumbs down so they could go back later on and find the ark, he got mad at them. Read.
As for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that...
Read that again. As for what?
As for that place.
As for the place where it was the Ark of the Covenant and the 10 Commandments and Aaron's rod that budded and the manna, as for that place where it was hidden at, go ahead.
It shall be unknown.
It shall be unknown. They will never find that. So as far as archaeology finding the 10 Commandments, it's not going to happen. Why? Because the Most High doesn't want them to find that. We're not going to retrieve that until Christ and the angels return. Then we're going to get those things back. But we got them right here. Spiritually, we got them. Okay, go ahead.
Until the time that God gathered his people.
Right. Has these people been gathered yet? These are his people right here, the Israelites. The 12 tribes, the so-called Negro, West Indian, Puerto Rican, Haitian, Dominican, Indian on the reservation, the so-called Mexican. We are his people. Have we been gathered yet? No. Because we're still divided. We still fighting amongst each other. We still hate each other. We still selling each other crack. So we hate each other, selling each other dope, joining gangs and gangbanging on each other. We're not gathered together yet. We're gathering together. That's what we're doing out here. We're trying to gather our people together. But have we fully been gathered together? No. Has Christ returned yet? No. But they're coming soon. Read on.
That's right. His people again together and receive them unto mercy.
Right, and receive them unto mercy. Because who needs mercy right now? We do. We the people that need mercy. We the ones that's catching hell in these streets, trying to find work, trying to go be a slave. Because that's really what you're doing when you go work. You a slave. Well, what Christ and the disciples came to, and the prophets and the Most High has in store for us is us not working. The only work we have to do is to serve Him. And we're going to be the boss. And we're going to have slaves. Okay? An employee is a slave. Let's get that correct. Let's get that fact out of the way. When you work for somebody, technically you're a slave. You're getting paid wages. Now, when we was in America in slavery, it was hardcore slavery, right? But they still gave you what? Food, clothing, and shelter. Even though they gave you the minimum, they didn't pay you what you was worth, and they forced you a lot. When they abolished slavery, you had a lot of our people that still worked for their slave master, but they was getting wages now. You know what I'm saying? So now they was getting paid, but they still stayed on the plantation. So it's the same thing. We get a job, you on a plantation. That's not a life. Give me is that it on that?
Yeah.
Whatever's highlighted, read.
Then shall the Lord show them these things.
Right, then when we mean it, when Christ and the angels return, and right now while the prophets are out here teaching, we're being showed many things. Read.
And the glory of the Lord shall appear.
Right, and the glory of the Lord shall appear. Meaning Christ and the angels are going to appear real soon. They're going to come from the heavens, Christ and his mighty angels, and take down the so-called white man, take down all these nations on the planet. They talking about war with Russia and war with North Korea. That's all prophesied in the Bible. It's prophesied in this book. A lot of y'all don't want these things to happen, but guess what? I pray every day that they happen because it's going to expedite the second coming of Christ. See, this is what you fail to realize. Even the so-called white man, when he first came over to America, they had what they called a manifest destiny. And they was trying to convert the so-called Indians over here in the Americas, the Taino Indians, the Indians in the Americas, North, South, and Central America. They was trying to convert them into Christianity to accept Jesus Christ, even though it was a false Christ, which was Caesar Borgias, the so-called white image of Christ. They was forcing them to accept this image and accept Jesus and they accept the Bible to do what? To expedite the second coming of Christ. Because what did they know? They knew that those people over here in the Americas were the 10 lost tribes of the nation of Israel. So they figured that if they could convert them into Christianity, then Jesus will return. But guess what? Their form of Christianity was a lie. And it wasn't time yet. Because the so-called white man is not the prophets. They're not the men of the Lord. They're not the ones that's going to gather Israel together. Israel's going to be gathered together by their own people. Is there more on that?
Yes. And the cloud also, as it was shown under Moses, and as when Solomon desired that the place might be honorably sanctified.
Right. So now get me on the book of Revelations, the 12th chapter. And where it said the earth helped the woman. Start at verse 15.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth, that he might cause her to be carried away.
Yeah, you did. Read 15 again.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water.
Right, it says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water. Now this is parabolic talk. This is a prophecy prophecies that deal with parables. Now I'm going to explain to you what it meant. Now the serpent, number one, a serpent is what? A snake, right? What is the so-called white man? He's a snake, he's a serpent. Even the so-called Indians, which are Israelites, what do they call him? They said the so-called white man speaks with a forked tongue. He said his words are lies. They will go like this. Why? Because that represents the tongue of a serpent. They said the so-called, they said the white man's words are lies. He's a serpent, man. Everybody know that. They call him the great Satan. Read on.
As a flood after the woman.
So it said, read it again from the top.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood.
It said, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood. So what does this water represent? It represents lies. The serpent, the so-called white man, cast out of his mouth what? Lies. So many lies, it was like a flood. They teach you Christopher Columbus discovered America. We all know that's a damn lie. Easter Bunny laying eggs, that's a lie. Santa Claus coming down the tree, coming down the chimney and bringing your children presents, that's a damn lie. How many lies does he teach you? He teach you that it's okay for a man to lay down with another man, that's a lie. A woman to lay down with another woman, that's a lie. He teach you that all the people in this Bible were white. We coming to find out that what? All them things are lies. He taught you that Jesus Christ was a so-called white man.
I figured that out.
We found out that was a lie.
I figured that out.
Not only did we find out that was a lie, but we found out who that man is that he tried to tell us was Christ. Who is it?
Caesar Borgias.
His name is Caesar Borgias, the second son of Pope Alexander VI of Rome. And when you read the history about him, you find out that he was a homosexual, a child molester, had sex with his sister Laquisia. He was a wicked-ass demon. And then they take his image and put him up as Jesus.
That's right.
And got our people bowing down to him, worshiping him, lighting candles for this homo. All these things are lies.
That's
So it
right.
says, and